Greetings viewers, today I'm here to talk about a wonderful film which has amazing theories and a film that I get so intrigued by that I want to talk about its amazing theories. I'm talking about this movie right here, Ex Machina. Ex Machina is a film directed and written by Alex Garland, who wrote 28 Days Later. He also wrote other films such as Sunshine and Dread. And Dread was actually dreadful. I'm not dissing Alex Garland. I actually don't like that film whatsoever. It was just not a good film. But mind you, I haven't actually seen 28 Days Later either, so I have to keep an eye out for that one. In the meantime, Ex Machina is a film that Alex Garland has directly debuted into his filmography. So this is the first film that he's directed, and my God, what a debut this film was. Ex Machina is such an amazing film. It's wonderfully made, it's wonderfully performed, wonderfully written, and the story of Ex Machina is just incredible. But what I love more about Ex Machina is its theories. There's something about this film that really interests me. It's not the fact of the story or the characters, it's more to do with literally its theories of what relates to other films and what it has in there that are very different from other science fiction films. Basically my question is Ex Machina the best science fiction film ever made? No. Okay, well maybe we'll just say, is it the second best science fiction film ever made? Well, I'm going to talk about its theories about what I love about this film and what I think about it. So first off, when I first saw this film back in January early this year, and I watched it and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such an amazing film. First off, let's talk about Stanley Kubrick references. There's a lot of Stanley Kubrick references in this film. For example, there's a house in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods and mountains. Does that sound familiar? There you go, I thought so. And not just that as well, Nathan himself looks exactly like Stanley Kubrick. In fact, Oscar Isaac, who plays Nathan, actually said that he wanted to look like Stanley Kubrick by shaving his head, growing a beard and putting on glasses. Therefore, he looks exactly like the film director, which I thought was incredible. So you can see there's definitely some Stanley Kubrick references in there. And also, of course, 2001: A Space Odyssey references definitely have it in there as well. For example, when you first meet Ava, she's this gorgeous, young, lovely robot, so sensitive, so interesting, so, wonderfully vulnerable in so many ways. And then later on she has this dark side which obviously she portrays into the film, so it kind of twists and turns for different sort of personality. But Ava, of course, had a very manipulating moment. It's kind of very much like HAL 9000 out of 2001: A Space Odyssey. A nice, kind machine then turns evil. Basically that's what I thought when I was watching Ex Machina. So many references there from Stanley Kubrick. But what I love more about Ex Machina as well is that it's also very intriguing of how very different it is from other science fiction films. For example, it's kind of erotic in some cases. There's a lot of nudity and a lot of things about relationship between men and women and evolution and sex. And there's a lot of other things about this film as well which talk more sort of erotically than it does science fictionally. I mean, obviously science is built with sex and nature because it's all about evolution and, about what we programmed. Like, for example, when Nathan talks to Caleb about, was he programmed to love black women? Basically, he was just saying as an example, you weren't, you didn't decide to love black women or be straight. You basically were just programmed the way you were because it's nature, and that's what it was all about. Sort of sexual, animal relationship kind of thing going on here with this whole Ex Machina thing. That's what I'm just basically going through anyway, that's what I'm just saying. But that's what's kind of intriguing. Many science fiction films don't really talk about the actual science of sex or robots or machinery that could combine if together with a human, and also nature evolution and stuff like that. It's kind of like a different sort of interest or subject in a science fiction film. That's what I find really intriguing as well, was the fact that they added stuff that's never really put into a science fiction film. What I also love about this film as well is probably its twists and turns about who to believe and who not to believe. Plus as well, does Ex Machina really have a true villain? Like, for example, Nathan, of course, is seen as the main antagonist. And then you have Ava. And to me, she's kind of like a anti-hero type of character, where she does start off good and then very slowly turned bad, as she of course left Caleb in the house. Caleb, of course, being the main protagonist of the film. But it's kind of like, does this film really have a true villain? Was Nathan right all along to warn Caleb about Ava, or was it Caleb's fault in the first place that he shouldn't have interfered? He could have left things well enough alone, should have left Ava in the cage, should have let Nathan get on with his job, you know? Was it really, you know, who was the right one to believe? That's the real question that never really got solved. But at the same time, it's also a very interesting one. And also there's another interesting theory at the ending of the film Ex Machina when Ava talks to the helicopter pilot at the end. I mean, you think the helicopter pilot would have been waiting for Caleb, but then there's a bit where she stops and talks to the pilot. And then of course it just goes into the next scene where she's going off into the helicopter. Why didn't the helicopter pilot say, "Where's Caleb"? Did Ava come up with a lie? Well, we don't know. But that's what I love about Ex Machina. There's so many mysteries with this film. But this film is my 10th favourite film of all time for many reasons. It's different. It thinks outside the box from other science fiction films. It's very Stanley Kubrick to this generation. It talks about things that wouldn't really science fiction films talk about. And it just has so many mysteries that we try and solve ourselves. As for me, I personally don't really know Personally, for me, I don't really know many of the answers for these questions, but that's what I'm trying to figure out for myself, is should this film have all these theories, and are we actually looking at the right track for this film? But whatever Alex Garland was trying to make us solve or make us think, he did a really good job, so well done for that, Alex. You've done a really fantastic job. Ex Machina is a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. I really highly recommended it. So yeah, definitely give it a watch, guys. And this is my film that's tributing about Ex Machina and its theories. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye bye. Oh, don't forget to comment and subscribe, people. Thank you.